Good afternoon, everyone. We're here today on the one-year anniversary of the first COVID case in Rhode Island. And beyond the tragic loss of life, this pandemic has caused extraordinary economic hardship. Small businesses are struggling. Families are trying to make ends meet. And all across Rhode Island, people are facing economic challenges like never before. Here in Rhode Island, we're working to get Rhode Islanders back to work. We're working to get our schools reopened and our small businesses back in business. And we're working tirelessly to get shots in the arms as quickly as possible. And I'd like to take a moment, to thank, to recognize Governor Raimondo for her leadership during this time frame, and the handoff that is coming this week, as Congressman Langevin said, that our job is to get this issue across the finish line. But we need support from our leaders in Washington to make that happen. And that's why I'd like to thank Congressman David Cicilline, Congressman Jim Langevin, who voted on Friday to give the states the support that we need. Now we need the Senate to pass President Biden's American Rescue Plan. And you've heard what this bill can do, and I think it bears repeating. The numbers are extraordinary, and they're going to help our state and our local municipalities. With this bill, President Biden will deliver on the promise of $1,400 checks for those making under $75,000 and every family making under $150,000. This money will help families catch up, and these dollars will be spent in our local communities, at our local businesses. Second, we know that we are going to recover from COVID-19. We have to expand vaccinations. The American Rescue Plan will spend $7.5 billion to Centers for Disease Control and Prevention to help distribute vaccines throughout the country, and another $7.5 billion to FEMA to establish more vaccination sites. Third, it brings much-needed revenue to Rhode Island at a time when our state government and our cities and towns are facing potential budget deficits. Very timely, Congressman, both of you, that we're heavy. I'll be leaving this meeting to go into another 2 or 3 hour meeting on our budget, and this information is very timely and it's going to be very helpful to the state in that process and also the local communities. I know that Mayor Elorza and mayors around the state are looking forward to help that the American Rescue Plan can bring to communities, all 39 cities and towns, and right here in the city of Providence. And fourth, the American Rescue Plan recognizes small businesses are essential to helping our economy recover. And I would just put another point out to all the small businesses that are under 20. This is a time frame that have less than 20 employees. This is a time frame to use the PPP loans to an advantage, and we need to make sure that we get that in every community that we need to reach out to. So throughout this pandemic, my office has worked to help small business owners access funding that they need to survive. That's why I'm glad that the American Rescue Plan is ready with help. $7.25 billion in additional funding for the Paycheck Protection Program, $15 billion in COVID-19 emergency grants through the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program, and $25 billion to create new small business programs to help restaurants and bars. Since we're here at the Dunkin' Donuts Center, and I'll be here tomorrow to get my shot, my wife Susan went online, as we're encouraging everybody to do, and made a reservation, and I'll be here tomorrow right after noontime having my shot with my wife Susan. But being here at the Dunkin' Donuts Center, I have to say, America runs on small businesses. So does Rhode Island. Let's get this plan passed so we can get our businesses the help they need. Finally, the American Rescue Plan will help us continue to reopen schools. And I've said last week, Rhode Island has been slow to get a program for our schools. These dollars are going to help us get kids back in the classrooms and get our teachers safely in the classrooms. And we'll help come up with a plan very shortly that will address that issue in a way that hopefully we salvage some of this school year, but definitely get our students in our classrooms by September. We've lost so much learning time during this pandemic, and we're going to do all we can to get students back on track. The American Rescue Plan has $130 billion for schools that can help us pay for ventilation systems, PPE, and hiring support staff to care for students' health and their health and well-being. And the American Rescue Plan is the right plan to get us back to a normalcy. We need the United States Senate to act. We know Senator Whitehouse and Senator Reid are ready. Let's send this bill to the President Biden's desk and get our country moving again. And I would also give a shout out to everybody, as I said, with both the Governor Raimondo, her team, and all the first responders in the state of Rhode Island that have given up so much to keep us safe. With that, I will hand it over to Providence Mayor Elorza. Mayor.
Good afternoon, everyone, and I want to begin by thanking Lieutenant Governor, soon-to-be Governor McKee. You know, you're stepping into this role in such a challenging time, and you know, I think that from our federal delegation, but certainly from myself, you know, we're here as partners to help our community get to the other side of this crisis. So, thank you for your leadership on this and stepping in and hitting the ground running. I also want to recognize the senior congressman from Rhode Island. Thank you, Congressman Langevin, for always fighting the good fight and being on the right side of the issues and representing us so well in Washington. We thank you for your leadership. And in particular, I want to recognize Congressman Cicilline. Congressman, you truly have made us so proud as a state, whether it's helping to pass the recovery bill, whether it's passing the Equality Act, or whether it is defending our democracy. You know, I thank you for everything that you do to represent us in Washington. You know, we're at such a critical point right now. On the one hand, there's hope. Hope is on the horizon. We know that the vaccine is finally here, and now it's just a matter of getting as many shots into people's arms as possible. But the challenge is we have to get to the other side and bring as much of our community along with us. And that's what the American Rescue Plan gives me hope for. It gives us the resources to get as many of our folks to that other side. As has been mentioned, we're still fighting this vaccine, and it allows us to not only continue with the expanded testing, but have the resources to effectively reach everybody in the state that needs to be vaccinated, and in particular, help us reach those hard-to-reach communities that certainly require extra energy and effort to reach. As the Lieutenant Governor just mentioned, we're also in the midst of and in the need of an economic recovery, whether it's putting dollars directly into people's hands, as this will do, or whether it's providing more supports for our small businesses that have been clinging to life for months on end. If we can get them to the other side, we're going to be better off, and that's exactly what this bill helps accomplish. And then finally, as has been mentioned, our kids have lost so much learning over the past 10 months, and this bill will allow us to get them back into school quicker than otherwise, and on top of that, invest in all of the recovery learning that they've lost so that they can hit the ground running next September with hopefully not having missed a step. So this bill will allow us to get to the other side, but on top of that, it allows us to make investments for the world that awaits us on the other side. We know that throughout the pandemic, a number of divisions in our society have been made very clear, whether it's economic divisions, social divisions, or racial divisions. We know that there are investments that we need to make in our community, because going back to the normal of before just isn't going to be enough. And with the flexible dollars that this will bring to our state and to our cities throughout, it puts the dollars directly into the hands of the people that are connected with our residents and are most attuned to our folks' needs throughout our communities. So for all of these reasons, it's vital that the Senate pass the American Rescue Bill as quickly as possible so we can get on with getting to the other side and building the kind of world and society that we want on that other side. Thank you.